Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And today we have a very, very exciting episode today. We'll be talking about a very, 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 very well-known character in the franchise.
Very.
And his many forms.
Many. Emphasized.
Okay, many. And I'm pretty sure you're probably asking, well, who is this person? Who is this person that you may be talking about?
What could it possibly be?
Well, he started out as green, and then he went to white, and then he went to red, then he went to red again, then he went to black. Then the comics went and gave him a whole new rainbow color mixed with white. And gave him a whole new name. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Tommy Oliver, y'all. That's who we're going to talk about on today. That's who we're going to talk about. But before I do, now y'all know we've been having a bunch of guests come on the show. You know, other podcasters, other people coming on the show. Well, today is no different. We got another person. Now, he goes by the name of, his real name is Arron, but he goes by the name of ASdeclassified. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you.
We're happy to have you, man.
Okay. We are very, very happy to have you here. Now, you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
And can I just say that you are a national treasure, sir?
Oh my.
You are a national treasure. I cannot not watch any of your episodes and not laugh. Like, I just love you.
Well, thank you for saying that. I try. You know, I love Power Rangers. I've loved it since I was a child. So I like talking about it. I like discussing it. And like, I started my YouTube channel, years ago now. And, you know, I was inspired by another guest you guys had on here, Lisa J, No Pink Spandex.
Yes!
So I used to listen to her like way back in the day, and I still do. So she made Power Rangers, like talking about it, sound really cool. Mm-hmm. So that's what inspired me to start talking about it on YouTube. So, you know, I feel like we all inspire each other to do this, you know?
This is true.
For sure.
This is true. I can't even lie. Like, you know, it's funny that you say that because she actually inspired me as well. It's crazy because, like, I remember when she had her, when she was auditioning people, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be on No Pink Spandex. And I just chickened out. I said, nah, I ain't gonna do it. But regardless, I was still, she definitely is a huge influencer of the people, and we appreciate her, and we appreciate you for making us laugh and being awesome. So thank you.
Oh, thank you guys.
No problem. Now let's get on with the episode because, you know, there's some stuff that we need to talk about beforehand. Mm-hmm. Now, as we know, COVID is out there.
Is it? What is this COVID?
What is this COVID? Well, we're referring to COVID-19, aka coronavirus, BKA Miss Rona. Now, for the people out there who do not know me personally, of course, a lot of you don't, but so recently, I call her my grandmother, but she's actually my great aunt. She passed away. Not COVID related, but she passed away, and so I flew from LA to my home state, South Carolina, which is where I am currently. And the trip was very interesting. It was very interesting. So it's everything that you would expect and not expect at the same time.
Whale.
Yeah, it was really weird. So first of all, I don't know about any of the other airlines, but I know United, because that's who I flew with. United, basically, they had hand sanitizer and wipes on deck. Like, just like, here you go. You touching that monitor, here you go. Here's a hand wipe. Like, just like passing them out like it's candy on Halloween.
That's what they're gonna be giving out soon.
Okay, giving out hand wipes, like or hand sanitizer. Don't touch this candy before you and you ain't wash your hands. It's some hand sanitizer. But yeah, like it was just so weird, and like it just felt weird, like having to keep either washing my hands or like using hand wipes or hand sanitizer like over and over and over and over and over. I'm like, after a while, my skin gonna start breaking. But of course, like I went through the check-in and everything. Went through TSA. They asked like a whole bunch of questions, like, "Are you sick?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "Okay." It's just like, all right. Any fevers? Any coughs? I'm like, no. Like, all right, whatever. All right, cool. And then once I got on the actual plane, so the way they served stuff, this is kind of weird. So the way they served stuff was like they literally gave you like a bag with a hand wipe, and inside the bag there's a hand wipe, some kind of like waffle thing or whatever that they normally would serve. And also there was like pretzels and water. And that was it. And I'm just like, so we ain't gonna get no other options? Like no other options of a drink? No. Water. That's it. I'm like, okay. So that was a little weird. I was like, okay, I can't even get no soda. I can't get no juice. I can't, nothing. They like, no, you drinking water today. I said, all right, cool. So I had to end up going to Houston first, coincidentally, from LA to Houston, and then when I got to Houston, I had to catch my flight from Houston to Charlotte and drive to South Carolina, which is like not that far. So when I landed in Houston and I got on the plane to go to North Carolina, that one, oh my God, those small teeny planes are the worst. They're the worst because you feel the wind bumping up against that thing, and it feels like the plane is going to shake and fall out of the sky. And all I could think of was, oh my God, like, please, Lord, do not let this plane fall down or anything happen to this thing. With everything that's going on, please don't let that happen. But luckily, like, prayerfully, we got the Charlotte safely. And once again, when we got off that plane, here they come with that hand sanitizer. I was like, look, no. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not using any more hand sanitizer. Like, I cannot, because my hands look like I've been playing in flour. I can't do this anymore. So it's just been a lot of just, like, they're really trying to be as careful as possible, which is understandable. But it's very interesting how they're requiring everybody to wear masks. You cannot board that plane unless you are wearing a mask. Like, that is just not the tea. So that was good. But the only thing is, like, having to wear a mask while you're in the air the whole trip is very uncomfortable. So it's a lot. There's a lot that's going on. But they tried to be as accommodating as possible, which made it a little better. But other than that, it's just kind of like, all right, y'all, like this is a little weird. Like, I don't know how to deal with this, but yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. But yeah, that was my trip. I'm still here. I will be leaving in the morning to head back to LA. And yeah, we're gonna do this all over again. But one thing's for sure. Before, as soon as I got here, I went and bought a travel tube of lotion. So I'm not gonna be tried like that again. They ain't gonna get me together like that. All that goddamn hand sanitizer every 5 minutes. I'm like, listen, if y'all gonna give me all this hand sanitizer, y'all need to put a lotion packet in here too. True. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. But that's all I wanted to tell y'all. It is okay. You don't have to, be too scared to ride planes. They are trying to accommodate the people. So, you can still travel. But just, I guess the takeaway from it is just be smart. You know what I'm saying? Just wear your mask. Try very hard to be mindful of, like, the things you touch. And things of that nature. If you do touch anything, just go wash your hands. I wouldn't suggest keep using that hand sanitizer because it does start to ruin your skin. Mm-hmm. So just make sure that you just wash your hands as much as possible, and you should be fine. But yeah. So that was my PSA for today. Now let's get on to the main event. Now today, I noticed I said we were going to be talking about Tommy.
Did we?
Yes. Now, granted, I'm sure you can hear in our voices, we are very excited.
What are you talking about? We're super duper excited.
We're super excited to talk about Tommy today. Now, I just want to pose a question to the people, to you guys, my lovely co-hosts and friends. Which one was your favorite? Which version, which Ranger that easy. Tommy was your favorite?
I think it might be purely in nostalgia, but I always loved the Green Ranger.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here. And I guess the only person that actually really loves Dr. Tommy Oliver.
I don't have any problems with him like the other two do, actually.
I understand, Will. You on the right side. I get it. But Tommy, my favorite. It's kind of like I can't pick between white and black, to be honest. I love Dr. Oliver. I really love him as a mentor role in Down of Thunder. And Down of Thunder is one of my favorite seasons. So I really like that character and that portrayal of him. But White Ranger Tommy is my childhood. Like, when he became the White Ranger is when I really was starting to watch Mighty Morphin and being super addicted. So that's just, it's nostalgia, but it's kind of hard to pick between those two for me. So.
Ooh, child. I don't know, child. Well, I purposely let y'all go first because I'm just like, I wanted to hear what y'all had to say before I said mine. I'm with you, Will. I'm with you. And it's not entirely because of nostalgia for me. But we gonna go ahead and get right into it, y'all, because we have to talk about this. So I said Green Ranger, because to me, I feel like that is the only time, other than Dino Thunder, that Tommy was written as a competent character.
Ooh.
That is the only time I feel like he was written as a competent, competent character. Like, that was the only time I feel like that. I feel like the Green Ranger was human. I feel like he was very identifiable. You could connect with him. You understood, he reminded you of somebody that you know, or reminded you of yourself. Because I swear, teenage me, I was definitely Tommy, Green Ranger. I was definitely Tommy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Forgetful. Forgetful who? Some days I wouldn't even remember my own name. I'm forgetting everything. He had goals. He had things he wanted to do. There was just things that he just felt like a teenager to me. And I feel like once you felt for him. You kind of, all those things that made Tommy who he was as the Green Ranger, all those things made him a likable character. That's I don't think it was just the Green Ranger just being a badass and just having all these fancy powers with the shield and the dagger. I don't think that was the only thing that made him cool. I think also another part about it was just that he was just a really cool person. It was just he was really that person that was oh wow, he's actually kind of cool, not just outside of being a ranger. He seems like he meshed well with the others, and he just really felt like a friend. And then once I remember the episode, was it Doomsday? Was supposed to be the finale, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. But it was the finale. Technically. Yes. Even in Doomsday, when the others are walking past him and they still acknowledge him, even though they're in Ranger form and he's not, still, it was just the way he reacted. It was just it was kind of you felt for him, you identified with him. It was just dag, I really feel, I feel you, man, I feel you. But it was when he turned into the White Ranger, excuse me. When he turned to white, it was just all hail King Tommy, and this dude can do no wrong, and he is super powered, and he is a god, and he can turn gray skies to blue, and I mean, it's just what the hell?
I'm not hearing the problem, but okay.
No, that is a huge problem because it's just for me, it was a huge problem.
It became about him instead of the actual show. I think we're trying to say is it became about him and not about the actual show.
Right. That was when it just kind of spiraled out of control for me. Was when it was just when as soon as he became the White Ranger, it was let's just make everybody seem non-existent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let's just focus on Tommy being cool.
I mean, let's rewind for 2.5 seconds. The way Zordon dethroned Jason.
Oh, that was savage.
What? I rewatched that scene till this day, and I'm I can't believe you just stood there and let he dethrone you as a leader.
I remember he asked them, "Are you pleased with this decision?"
Yeah.
Because they knew who it was at that point, but
and Jason.
Yeah, that was.
So.
Go on.
I said Jason was very pleased. He was "This is great." So I don't know what the issue is.
Right.
Child, first of all, let's just be 100% honest. Let's be honest for 2.5 seconds. Let's be honest. Now, if somebody came, now say for example, you at your job, right? You at your job. You doing your thing. Your boss is yes, you is great. You is awesome. You are special. I know. I hope y'all see what I just did there. Quoting the help. Well, I didn't exactly quote it, but anyway. But
sounded familiar.
You're doing your thing, and and all of a sudden this other person. Now you ain't got a problem with them. You ain't got a problem with them. I mean, you cool with them and everything. Y'all all right. But they pop up out of nowhere. Left. No, first of all, they left. Came back. And then your boss, who told you was good and that they love your work, all of a sudden go, all right, so this person will be replacing you.
You good with that decision?
You're really gonna sit there and tell me that he was just like, oh yeah, that's great, that's cool. Like, no. I was really sitting there, like, even when I rewatch it now, like, what goes through my head is just like, I know Jason is pissed, but he's only saving face. He is saving face because he really do feel some type of way.
Oh, well,
He do.
Like, anyone would.
How are you going to make that huge decision without letting him know beforehand? And then, like there was no warning. Oh, Tommy's back and he's the leader. Okay.
I mean, Zordon didn't.
I'm not doing a good job
in that episode. Like,
what's that?
I said Zordon didn't warn them about anything in that episode. Like, he just took Tommy, and they didn't know what was going on. Zordon and Alpha just disappeared, and then they sprung a new range on.
Right.
And he even with Tommy, he just kidnapped Tommy. Didn't even let him know.
Exactly.
Can I just mention how trash Zordon is for like 2.5 seconds? Like, Zordon is a very trash-ass human being. Well, not human, but a trash-ass alien being. He is trash. He is trash. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I know people love themselves some Zordon. They're like, oh my God, Zordon is the best mentor ever. But, honey, baby, Zordon was trash. Like, he stayed, like, being so, like ambiguous about just random stuff. Like, he would tell them stuff like, hey, so there's a monster that you guys are fighting, but I know you can't beat them with the weapons that you have right now, but come back to the command center so I can give you these weapons and fight them. Like, why couldn't you just go ahead and give them the weapons anyway from the start? Like, why you have to wait for them to get their asses beat before you finally say, hey, here's your other weapons? Like,
I guess he wanted to teach them a lesson, but, like, that's dumb.
It's just like a lot of stuff that Zordon did and a lot of stuff that Zordon would say. It's just like, if you would have just told us this beforehand, that would have saved so much trouble. Can
you imagine if they actually had one of them say that? Why didn't you tell us this like a half an hour ago?
Like, oh my gosh, no, that would have been too much attitude, you know. I mean, they were teenagers with attitude.
At least it would have fit the role. And realistically, though, honestly, in reality, we would get that kind of attitude. We would be annoyed that, like, you didn't tell us this 2.5 seconds ago. Like, the real, like, in reality, like, the real teenage us, we would have rage over this.
But I definitely feel like he, you know, I couldn't have been a ranger. I really couldn't have. I could not have been a ranger if it was me, my teenage self. Like, I would have been in cuss Zordon out so many times. Like, Zordon would have been sick of me and my attitude. It's like, look now, you're doing the most. You're doggone right because you called me here. You kidnapped me. Now, if you're gonna kidnap me, you better answer my questions and not send me out here looking like no fool, and not be prepared. Like, come on now. But, you know, Zordon he did a lot of stuff that was just like, and honestly, the thing is, and I understand this is all writing. This is all writing stuff. But the one thing I did not like that this show did, especially with Tommy, was that they made it seem like he was the beginning, the middle, and the end. Like, he was Alpha and Omega. Like, literally, like, there's many times that Zordon would say, you know, Tommy, you are great. You are the only one that can do this. You. And it's just like, you didn't even do half of that for Jason. Like, You did none of that for Jason.
I mean, he just dethroned Jason, okay? Like,
yeah, I'm like, dang. Like, I feel like in the comics, Zordon showed Jason some love. But on the TV show, it was just like, all right, Jason. I mean, I might talk to you like maybe once or twice and encourage you like, you know, maybe once.
Like,
but
I mean, he didn't even tell
Tommy
Jason
gets all the encouragement
that he was gonna get dethroned. Didn't even tell him.
Right.
Didn't even say, you, Jason, I've decided to dethrone you and, you know, demote. No, what's the word for it? Promote your new fierce leader. I don't know how that would go, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Like, girl, listen. Like, I just...
I have so much thoughts right now. Oh, my God.
I just never... in my wildest dreams, I would have never thought that, like, he would just be so trash. And then, like, don't get me wrong. Like, Tommy as the White Ranger, not gonna lie, didn't care for it, but... the choreography was cool. Like, some of his stuff that he was doing was like, oh, okay, this is cute. Especially in the movie. Like, the movie stuff, the movie fight scenes, they were nice. They were real cute, real classy.
I love that. Real cute, real classy.
Real classy. But, honestly, y'all, like, White, when he was white, it just felt like, oh my God, that sounded awful. When he was the White Ranger, he just felt like he was just insanely strong for no reason. And it's just like, bruh, like, can we get a little more Ranger love? Like, can we get some stuff on Aisha? Can we get some stuff on well, we had Rocky with his Rocky just wants to have fun. That was enough for me. But can we get some more with like Adam or like like something like, oh my God. And it was just like, he just had all the work, and it's just like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, how do y'all feel about Tommy as the White Ranger? Like, what is your thoughts on that? Well, I know you love him, Aaron.
I can remember when I watched it back, I was wondering why they used him by himself so much. Like, I always thought that was weird. Like, Rangers, you go handle the putties, and then Tommy will handle like the main monster, or actually, I think sometimes it was like the other way around. Like, he'd single-handedly take out like an army of putties and Goldar, and then the Rangers might do like I guess it was only footage for the Thunder Megazord, so they would do the Megazord thing on their own.
Kind of like all of the above, because a lot of
I guess it's both, yeah.
Yeah, Tommy would fight like Goldar a lot, or he'd fight like the putties and Goldar a lot, and the Rangers would be in the Zords or separated. Or like that episode where Scorpina was pretending to be Adam's girlfriend. I think the Rangers fought the putties, and Tommy by himself is solo and Goldar and Scorpina.
Yeah. So it was like, obviously because he's the new leader and he's a newly created Ranger, I guess he is quite powerful. But damn, like I thought Power Rangers was about teamwork, and it actually seemed like when he became the White Ranger, it wasn't really about teamwork anymore. It was
the Tommy show.
So I mean, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess that's how I feel. Really. But like you said, Brandon, was some cool like fight choreography. He got to do a little bit more. I guess especially since he didn't have to like share the main fight scenes with Jason anymore. Like, it was like he was the star of it.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, it just always kind of felt weird for me because it was like, for me, having him be like, don't get me wrong, Green Ranger Tommy, and people, I've seen this a lot. People would say, "Oh my God, Green Ranger Tommy was so weak." It's like when he had his full powers, Green Ranger Tommy was badass. He only started getting weak when they were trying to steal his powers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the. What do you say?
I said, let him know. Yeah.
Okay, like that was the only time that he actually started getting weak was when, and he started being more so like a casualty rather than like a commodity on the team. Like it started being like, all right, dang, like we need you to go sit down somewhere because you hindering us. But
like most of it, unfortunately, wasn't he like out of power more so than he was fully powered as far as like the episode count?
I would probably say yes, actually. Well, let me take that back. I'd probably say it was probably just as
half
equal.
and half?
Yeah, I'd probably say it was equal because Rita tried to take his powers, and then he came back fully powered after that. Because he was able to recharge his powers or whatever off of saving their power coins when he came back. Then when Lord Zed, you say what?
Was that full though?
Well, I mean, he wasn't like no longer like a situation where it was like he was kind of like a hindrance. Like he was still being able to fight. Like he could still fight on the team without like slowing the others down. Like it wasn't until like Lord Zed started trying to come for him and trying to steal his powers, that's when it was like, okay, like, dude, like you losing your powers every 5 minutes. But like he still was like he could still fight as long as it wasn't. I mean, others try to make it seem like, well, you're not like fully powered as they are, but he still was like able to do something. Like he wasn't like, because the situation that comes to mind is Trini with the Venus flytrap monster. And basically, he told Trini to go sit down somewhere. Oh! That episode still gags me. He was like, what are you going to do? Go get captured yourself? I was like, oh! Trini's face was like, bitch, I know you did. Now, if that was Trini in real life, Trini would have been like, look here. Like, I have all my powers. You don't. Like,
so true.
Like, don't do me like that. Like, he gagged me with that one. But even then, like he had half, like he wasn't at full strength, but it wasn't a situation where it was like, oh my God, like, you're gonna be like, you'll be more of a hindrance. I don't think it was at that point. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was at that point that it was like, oh my God, like, dude, like if you get out there, they're gonna try to steal your powers and you're gonna be looking crazy. No, and we have to save you.
I agree with you. I mean, obviously, but it's a lot of episodes in season 1, like with the Green Ranger. They were like, "Oh no, Tommy, you need to sit this out. Your powers are too limited," But then the Rangers are getting murked out there, and it's like, "Oh well, never mind, Tommy, you need to get out there and save them," and he does. And so it's just Tommy did that a lot, which I get. Maybe some of the fans are kind of bothered that Tommy had to save the others so much, but that's kind of part of the reason why I like him. Because he always just came in there, saved the day, did what he had to do. And his character anyway, not the actor, his character never let that go to his head. So.
Are you sure about that?
Listen, now, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I appreciated him. Honestly, I think where the problem is for me, not just that, when he became white, the White Ranger, the show was just about him. But I think also another issue for me when he became the White Ranger was that I liked him better as the Sixth Ranger. Like, I liked him more as the guy who was just like, oh, y'all need help? Let me come in and swoop in like a thief in the night and come in, kick these monsters behind and save y'all real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. Because I felt like it was more so about, at that point, like, they were still operating off of teamwork, and it wasn't so much like, oh my God, like, Tommy's going to help us, like, whatever. Like, Tommy just felt like an extra person on the team, rather than, all right, guys, I'm better than you, so you got to listen to what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't feel like that. So with him becoming leader, it really felt like that's basically what he was telling them. Just like, I'll handle this. You guys go and do whatever. Because like one of the main episodes that I hated, and when I say I hated this episode,
I hated
this episode. You probably know what episode I'm talking about. I hated this episode of Passion because it proves exactly my point. The episode when the Rangers had to fight those monsters at the beach.
Yep.
I hate that episode with a passion because they made Rocky and Billy and Aisha look so weak. I'm like, you got a veteran. And Billy was good at that point. Like, Billy was like, doing all the martial arts and the gymnastics, and Billy was good. Like, he was like, okay, I'm an OG at this point. Like, I got this. Leading the team in the morph and everything. He's like, we good. Like, just follow my lead. And, like, they got their behinds handed to him. Like, I'm like, how? I understand that, like, Rocky and Aisha were brand new at this point. Like, they were brand new. So they may not have been, ready for that kind of monster madness. They may not have been ready. But you had Billy there. How Billy was getting his behind kicked. Like, I was like, what is happening?
I guess having two rookies at your side, that didn't help him.
But still, but at least with the choreography, they could have had him at least, like, at least getting overpowered, not him getting his ass beat. Like, I'm like, dang. Like, how is Billy having a hard time with this? And then when the others join, like, then Tommy's like, all right, y'all go and fight this one monster that grew. And I'll fight like 10 monsters by myself and kill them all. Like, what?
Yes.
Are you serious?
What episode do you remember the name of that one?
I think a real fish story.
I think that was a real fish story. I think. Yeah. I was floored. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I am not here for this at all. Like, how? And like, he made it look so easy. Like, he didn't even break a sweat. That's the problem. That was the thing. Like, these Rangers were like literally like getting demolished by these monsters. Tommy jumps in and just like start dancing and twirling around Saba like a flag girl, just like. And all of a sudden, like, he just completely just, like, decimated, like, 10 monsters by himself. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this? Like, I was so turned off from him at that point. I'm like, I can't. Because you are literally making him seem way too overpowered for me. Like, it's like we said before, it was just like, he now feels like he is the team. And the show is supposed to be about teamwork. But he doesn't. It doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it. It's just like, you know what? Tommy is the team. Like, let him fight. We'll be all right. Let him fight.
I love this. Oh, can I just say, Brendan? I feel like I had like the exact opposite opinion when I first saw this episode as a kid. So
I can't.
I love this episode for two reasons. One, I still remember as a kid, I think when like Rocky Rocky, Billy, and Aisha, when they first fought the Fish Monsters, I think they like jumped off of something really high. And as a kid, I emulated that. I think I jumped off like the kitchen counter all the time when that episode was on. So I love it for that reason. Yes, I was a bad kid. And the second reason is that I love seeing Tommy kick ass like that. I just loved it. Oh, I loved it. Those monsters, when the other Rangers got in their Zords, and the Fish Monster's like, oh, we down to one Ranger. This gonna be easy. And he's like, okay, I want you guys to meet Saba. And he just flipped them all up. I love it. I just love it. I'm sorry. I can't not hate that.
Child. No, honey.
I remember because, a lot of Power Rangers fans feel like you do, Brandon. A lot do. And I remember my Range Board days and the running joke of season 2 being the Tommy show featuring the Power Rangers. I get it.
Oh, I used to love that on Ranger Board.
I get it. But it's kind of like you said, his martial arts is just so good. It's just so fun to watch. And I can't hate it.
Child.
I was gonna say, I thought that season 3 was a better representation of his character, because it wasn't as much about him. He still got his focus, but it just didn't seem as forced as the second season did.
Before you go on, let's pause for 2.5 seconds where they constantly had Kimberly call for Tommy.
But she was at that. I still feel like the only time that she did that, at least in the show, was when her powers were waning. Because I don't when I watch it back, that is something that I saw a lot of times for people that didn't like Kimberly was, oh, she's always calling for Tommy. But then I'm like, wait a minute, maybe in the movie, but on the show, she took care of herself pretty well.
No, in the beginning it was all about Billy. She was calling for Billy nonstop, and then it became Tommy. Then it was a toss up between Zach and Jason. She would call for, but then it definitely became the Tommy show after Tommy became the leader, constantly. Then of course Kat picked up the same tip.
Yeah, I feel like she called for him more than
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Catherine, now don't get me wrong. Now, I love me some Catherine Sutherland. I do. Now, back then I was not the biggest fan of MMPR Pink. I wasn't. When she became MMPR Pink, I was like, nah, I'm good. I cannot accept her. She not my Pink Ranger. She's not.
That was me
because this heifer tried to kill Kimberly, and I don't appreciate her. I just don't. How are we gonna make a murderer a Power Ranger? This is not. This is not the tea. I'm not here for it.
I agree with that.
But when she became Zeo, I was like, okay, Zeo Ranger 1 Pink. Okay, I can kind of work with this. Okay, because she's not Kimberly. She's not wearing the pterodactyl suit, so I can live with that. And then when she became Turbo, which was farthest away from Mighty Morphin, I was like, all right, cool, yes.
I really liked her then. I was
like, yay!
And also because Tommy wasn't around either.
This is true.
This
is true.
So she wasn't calling for Tommy no more. Thank goodness.
Well, aside from twisting them ankles.
Oh, God. Their last episode was one of the most, I feel like, infamous Tommy calls. The slow motion. When the truck had blown up or something. When they were being
yes. And the putrefied dragging him off. First of all, can we talk about that scene for 2.5 seconds? Because even though we got to get back to because I want to get back to White going into Zeo. But for one second, I'm sorry, I have to. Oh my God. Can we talk about how Catherine was struggling with those Piranatrons? And that putrid was dragging him away so slowly. Like that, it wasn't even like the putrid like picked him up and put him over his shoulder and kind of like ran away. It wasn't even that. Like that putrid was dragging him away hella slow. I mean, like, come on, dude. Like Tommy was late, like heavy or something. Like he was just like pulling him, like, come on. You know, and Catherine was just like really getting her butt handed to her. And I'm like, how? Like, y'all, you fight Piranhatrons on the daily. How is all of a sudden you getting your behind kicked by these Piranhatrons? And first of all, the putrid ain't even moving that fast. So you can go ahead and wipe these Piranhatrons out real fast and then go stop the putrid. But it's like, the way they set it up, they made it just look like this girl was just having the hardest time. Now, what I will say is it was cute because they introduced TJ and Cassie into the mix. So I understand how they were trying to weed that in. I get it. But those Piranhatrons were not that tough for her to have as much problems as she did.
Going on in there.
Like, they just weren't, especially for the simple fact that Cassie and TJ came in and wiped the floor with them.
And Justin wiped the floor with them on the regular. So how you cat a freaking veteran going to...
A veteran had to run away. She had to run away.
Listen. There's an episode in Turbo where Kat was getting her ass handed to her by one Piranhatron. I don't remember the title of it.
Alarmed and Dangerous.
See, there you go. And I just never understood what was going on in that episode.
The only part that saved me on that fight scene was when she did that scorpion kick. I said, okay, I can forgive you because that scorpion kick is beautiful. So you know what? Yes, I'll forgive you for that. But that Piranhatron kicked her ass, okay?
That was a super Piranhatron. I don't know what was going on there.
Yo, that Piranhatron did like 4 kicks on her and was just like, I mean, kicking her in her stomach, kicking her in the arm, like...
It was crazy to see the hits actually connect on her.
Yo,
I was not expecting that at all.
They connected. I'm like, oh my God, Cat, that thing gonna kick Cat so much she can't get pregnant. Like,
I mean, he kicked her right in the stomach.
Right in the stomach. And he ain't just kicked her once. He ain't kicked her twice. Not even 3 times. He kicked her 4 times.
Well, we all know she got like, pregnant because she got JJ after, remember?
Lord. Well, of course, we know she can get pregnant because she had JJ, but good grief, like, oh my God, that Piranhatron kicked her ass. But I'm just like, dang, like, what is happening? Like, I never understood that part. But anyway.
I mean, if you get beat that bad, you could have just morphed at that point. I don't understand.
Listen, first of all, that was the part that got me. If you're having that much trouble, just morph.
Remember?
No, I'm talking about Alarmed and Dangerous.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I mean, it wouldn't have been cool because Justin is fighting his by himself with no problem, and then she would have had to morph just to fight one Piranhatron. That would have sucked. But that's another thing too. Talking about that scene real fast. So Justin had no issues with his Piranhatron, like none.
No issue,
right?
And he's a kid.
And he's a kid, right? Okay. Catherine.
Poor Catherine.
Catherine is a whole veteran. And she just like, how does that happen? How does that happen? I mean, I know they couldn't just like rough up a child. I mean, obviously they just can't, let a child just get beat up. But still, I mean, they could have had him at least, like, pick him up and give him a wedgie or something. Kind of make it seem like, he's having a little issue. But dag, like, I mean, he had no issues whatsoever. And Catherine was just like, bop, bop, bop. I mean, just getting kicked all in her stomach. I'm just like, oh, Lord. But no, going back to that episode that you were referring to, she did lose her key. She did lose her key. But that's another thing, too. And this is a question that I've always had. Did they have, like, extra keys, like, just lying around just in case somebody dropped their key and lost it?
I would assume that it's linked to them having the power, so they'd be able to, like, make it come back to them somehow.
Because
she do it right then and there, or why didn't oh my God, Tanya, Adam, and Justin, why weren't they able to get their keys too? I don't know.
That was always my question. Because I'm like, Catherine, unless they went back and found her key, she dropped that thing and ran. So unless they went back and found her key, where did she get her replacement from? Like, did they already have one on deck being like, here you go. I know you lost it. This is the extra $25. So go ahead, run that back. Run that to me real quick, and then you can get your turbo key. I'm not sure how this works. But when Tanya, Adam, and Justin, when they lost their keys, they got them keys back quick. They were like, I ain't paying that extra $25. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this key, and we gonna morph, and we gonna fight this this monster. But I don't know. Like, I always wondered that, because I'm just like, like I said, she just dropped that key and deal. So I'm just like, did she get a new one? Did she run back and go get it? Like, and then, like, does she even know where she dropped it? Like, she was probably outside pretty much like all day looking for that key. Like, Dad, Cat, where you dropped that key? And she's just like, I don't know where I dropped this key at. And they just like looking all over for it, and finally they find it and was like, all right, let's go to the command center. Like, I don't know. But that, I don't know. That's just always been an idea that I always had. I'm like, when they lose their keys, like, what happens?
Or maybe it teleports back to the command center.
Right. Or maybe they were able to teleport it back or something. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, something.
I would hope,
that's a good point.
Because that would suck. That would suck if she just lost that key and they just spent all that time out in the woods just looking for that key. Unless
Billy had backup.
Barry Allen?
Yeah, they got Barry Allen to help, with his speed.
Shifting the turbo.
Right? Clearly, I need more coffee.
But yeah, like, but I understand that, going back to the original conversation at hand, I understand that we are, we have a little opinion about Tommy is in white. I don't care for it, but some people do. But how do y'all feel about that? Was shade. But how do y'all feel about Tommy as Red, as Zeo Ranger 5 Red?
Honestly,
what's y'all opinion on that?
I forgot he was ever Zeo Red. Like it slipped my mind completely. And obviously we forgot he was Turbo Red because he really makes sure that he doesn't talk about it.
Well, I mean, he wasn't even there.
Right. So, yeah, I completely forgot. I was more focused on the rest of the team. Other than that one episode where they had Kat try to save him because he turned evil. And what was that episode called? You know what I'm talking about? You guys know
the infamous King for a Day.
Yes, that one.
That they showed like 1 million times on Fox Family.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I didn't really care for him as Red. I'm sure you guys have different opinions.
Yeah, actually, I liked him much more in Zeo. I felt like he had become a better leader by that point, but he had 2 years of practice at that point. I always loved that we had scenes of him helping Kat and Tanya learn how to fight, and then he would spar with oh my god, I know their names. Oh my god, Adam and Rocky to like keep them sharp. Yeah, I liked him better. Definitely better as red than as white. Like character wise, definitely. And it was cool. Like his arsenal is really cool. He had of course Zeozor 1, and he had the Red Battlezord. The Red Battlezord was pretty cool.
Zeozor 5.
What did I just say?
Zeozor 1.
Zeozor 5. I think I was thinking about he was number 1 in Turbo. My bad.
Yeah, because I'm about to say he sure wasn't driving around that tank. Driving that foot around.
Yeah. Anything? Yeah. Yeah. Character wise, I thought he was just a better character in Zeo than in particular season 2 of M Impure. But yeah.
Sidebar. Now, didn't Kat and Tanya Zords look like vacuums?
They did.
Wow, I never thought that before.
They look just like vacuum cleaners.
Wow.
Maybe it was sponsored by Dyson.
Stop.
I was
wow.
thinking that was weird because they were just so stationary.
Yeah, they were all blue, and they just had like one stripe of color. A stripe of pink and a stripe of yellow. And it was like, that's how you know. That's pink and that's yellow. It's like, but the whole Zord is blue. I don't care. That stripe tells you this is pink and this is yellow. Don't argue with me.
I can't.
I know the whole thing is blue. But no, like, honestly, for me, with Zeo Ranger 5, with Tommy as Zeo Ranger 5, that would probably be, like, my second. My third favorite. Because, like, I feel like as Zeo Ranger 5, I also kind of feel like it was another repeat of season 2, where it was the Tommy show, but just done better.
Mm.
Okay.
He had so many damn arcs about him in Zeo. I'm like, every time you turn around, like literally, and what makes it so bad that the arcs were back to back. That's what I think really pissed me off about Zeo, was that the Tommy arcs were literally back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing when Kimberly broke up with him, that was the first arc. Then literally, not even an episode later, you into the Red Battlezord arc, which then put you into the next arc when he was trying to find his damn brother. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't, like, can I get a break? Like it was like almost 7 episodes back to back was about Tommy, and I'm just like, I'm tired. Like, I'm literally Tommy exhausted. Like, no, I can't.
I agree with you. And that's probably why I don't remember most of it, because it was all Tommy. I think my favorite episode is when he got Dear John. I'll leave it at that.
When he got his feelings hurt?
Yeah. For the first time ever, it was about him, but it wasn't about him. It was about Kim making a decision for herself, and she was like, you know what? I need to move on. And in order for me to be successful, you can't be in my corner. Bye, Tommy. Yours
and
always.
And she said, I found somebody else. I said, ooh. And
right? And I oop. He jumped on Catherine real quick, all right? Real quick.
It took the whole season.
Because he was in a relationship.
I'm not going to say the whole season, though. I'm going to say the whole season.
They literally didn't get together until the last episode.
It was not the last episode.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. Remember they went on a field trip?
They finally went on their date, and then they held hands at the last scene of Hawaii Zeo, I think.
No. Do you remember when they went on that trip, the school field trip? It was like the mountains, and it was snowy.
And that's when she started to realize that she liked him, but they didn't actually. They danced together at the end of the episode where.
And who knows what else happened? Who knows what else happened?
Oh God!
I mean, they were teenagers
On a school
They were
field trip.
perfect teenagers. They ain't do that.
I mean, we don't know that. That's all I'm gonna say. We didn't know that.
We sure didn't.
We didn't know what they were doing.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think Zordon did either.
I think Zordon knew.
Oh God! Wait, he technically could have spied on them.
That's
like,
what I mean. I think Zordon knew.
Ew.
Oh. Oh my God.
Well, think about it. Like, who knows what Zordon does during his free time? He's stuck with Alpha. Can you blame the guy?
Yo.
And
Now that I'm thinking about it,
Just
that's
think
kind
about
of
it.
weird.
Right? Think about it. Because, like, he's stuck with Alpha all the time. Do you really think Alpha is a great companion? He's a robot. He's great, but he's a robot.
Wait.
Ay.
So
How
think
is the-
about it. What if, oh my God.
Right?
What if Zordon was a voyeur and he was like in his tube just like getting off like spying on them in their personal life?
I mean, I don't think he can get off because I don't think he has a body to get off
He
to,
doesn't
but
have hands.
that's what I mean. Like, he has no body to get off to, but like,
Well, no. Hold on. I wouldn't say that because remember in the movie, in
That's
Power Rangers the movie, he sure did had a whole body.
No, he didn't. He
did.
didn't have legs.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he probably had legs. I mean, he just had on a whole gown, a whole hospital gown, but he had on legs. He had legs.
But I mean, that's true. I
He
mean,
had a body.
we don't know what part of his body is missing. You know.
I'm just saying, Zordon was probably having himself a good time, like spying on those Rangers.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Listen.
He probably knew what happened that night up on that trip.
We're like, I ain't gonna tell nobody. I won't tell if you won't. I'm just saying.
I agree.
But no, like I don't know, like I just never really cared for the whole like Tommy and Zio. One thing that bugged me about Tommy, it was that like a lot of his episodes like the fight scenes were actually taking episodes from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, that last fight, the last episode, of the episode where he found his brother, when Tanya did the ZO2 power kick and she used the ZO2 power weapons, that episode was actually a old Yellow episode, which is Japanese, with the Japanese version for Zeo Ranger 2 Yellow. That episode was her episode. And I'm like, why couldn't this be a Tanya episode? Why couldn't this be a Tanya episode? And then we could have had her, doing her thing, showing out, being cool. But no, it had to be a Tommy episode featuring the other Rangers. Like, why? So yeah, I don't know. Like, I never really, like, Zeo Ranger 5, I'm not gonna say I didn't like Zeo Ranger 5, but I didn't like the way Zeo Ranger 5 was constantly being, once again, shown off like, he was the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
I never really cared for that. And then when Jason came, I felt like when Jason came back as the Gold Ranger, they still made sure that they had Tommy at the forefront. Like, they didn't give the Gold Ranger all the fancy moves that they gave Tommy when he was like green or white. Like, it just didn't, he didn't have that. When Jason became the Gold Ranger, it didn't have that same feel that it did when Tommy was the Sixth Ranger, if that makes any sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like all the fancy Six Ranger stuff kind of went to the Lord of Triforia. And
yes,
right.
That's exactly what it was. It was like Jason just was like an extra person on the team who was just sent to do secret missions, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's just have you go and do whatever over here, but you can't be good at it though. You can't be fancy.
He never did that gold streak or gold rush move that Trey did the first time we met him. I thought that sucked. It kind of went along with what we got for when an evil ranger was introduced, where they could do all this cool stuff, and then the moment they turn good, they can't do that anymore. And then in this case, when Jason got the powers, he couldn't do that cool stuff at all.
Yeah,
but I guess maybe headcanon for that is, oh, those aren't naturally his powers, so maybe that's why he couldn't do it.
But even then, it was just it was disappointing because the way he made it sound, it was like, oh well, Jason is back, and Jason just kind of seemed a little mediocre, like he never had powers before. He's just kind of here, and Tommy is still better. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, and that's what a waste. What a waste, because that's freaking Jason.
Exactly. Like, but honestly, though, they kind of set us up for that, though. Because when Jason came back, and remember when they were sparring? When they were boxing on the punching bag? Yeah. And Jason went ahead and let him know right then and there, I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm not trying to yuck your yum, honey. But, I'm just here, to assist, and that's it. Like, I ain't trying to steal your thunder. And, Tommy hit him with we're a team. Child, no, we're not.
No.
But.
No.
We are not a team.
No.
But. This is about you and you know it. But, also, too, it just kind of felt like he was, like, I feel like when he had to, say that, it was almost kind of like he was letting us know, yeah, I'm not going to be as good as cool as everybody, as how Six Rangers were before me. I'm not going to have that pizzazz. I'm just going to be whatever. And that's kind of how it was, because, like, Jason really was, in a way, as the Gold Ranger, Jason was very ineffective.
Yeah, he really was.
He wasn't really, like, he wasn't that person that you would call on to say, hey, Jason, we getting our butts handed to us. We need extra help. And he's like, yeah. And he's going to come in and do some kind of, like, super cool stuff. And then, like, boom, 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 boom. It's over. Yeah. Like, it wasn't that at all. No. Like, he would get his butt kicked just as badly as they did.
And so that makes you wonder, what was the point of him?
Right. Like
why bring him back to give him such a terrible role like that, Like, not only did you dethrone him, but then you brought him back, you basically toss him to the side again.
Yeah, you water him down and make him, kind of weak. Mm-hmm. That was always my issue with Jason as Gold Ranger. They just brought him back and just kind of just made him just kind of there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was there, but he wasn't even there. Like, he hardly hung out with the team. He wasn't really there when they called him, even when they did call him. I don't know. He was there, but he really wasn't. It was almost like he would come whenever he felt like it,
Yeah, because he was too busy with Emily.
Right. Well, you know what?
Being Mr. Mac Daddy.
I mean, she probably gave way more respect than Zordon did.
Listen, like, first of all, like, I'm no tea, no shade. I always thought this was funny, but when they introduced Emily, y'all remember that episode when they introduced her and she was a part of, like, the bad crew or whatever, and those two had locked eyes. Like, Jason looked like when they locked eyes, I'm sorry, that chemistry, and now looking at it as an adult, like as a kid, it seemed innocent. Like it was just like, oh, they're attracted to each other. But as an adult, I'm sorry, they looked like they wanted to jump each other bones like fast. Like damn. Like, yes. You know, like, I don't know, like, both of them were looking at each other like, damn, I could sop you up with a biscuit. Like, what is this energy? Like, why are y'all looking at each other like that? But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, those two, I don't know. Like, when Jason just came back, it just kind of felt like they still were trying to keep, even though he was back, and it was like, oh yeah, they obviously threw him back in to boost ratings. It still was kind of like, yeah, he's back, but we can't take the attention off Tommy. And
that was a purposeful thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious that they brought him back for ratings, but it was just like they still were like, you know, Tommy still has to be in the forefront. Tommy still has to be in the forefront. And like I never understood why that was, because it was just like, Dad, can anybody else get shine on this show? Like, I mean, good grief. And that's just kind of how it felt. It was just like nobody else got too much more to do other than Tommy. So yeah. Well, how do you feel about it, Arron? I know you kind of quiet over there. What's T? How you feel?
Oh my gosh. Well, to I guess maybe end it on a positive note, I kind of like Zio Red. You know, he's not my favorite version of the Tommies, but I do like him. And I definitely like all the 20 billion Focus episodes he had in Zio, and you know, I like the Dear John letter 3-parter. I mean, I'm not exactly a fan of how Kimberly broke up with him, but I do like all the drama that came from it. I like, you know, how Sarah Brown tried to jump his pants, and then that didn't work out. And then Kat is like, oh, I kind of like him, but I don't know what to do with that. And then we just go through the whole thing with him finding out he has a brother, ignoring the Native American stuff, but finding out he has a brother.
Right.
Right. How he just coincidentally became Native American?
Yeah, I to this day, I don't really understand that part of the storyline, but I like the fact he has a long-lost brother. That's fine.
Yeah, long hair, probably. I wonder if they... I'm sorry, real quick. I wonder if maybe one day they saw him with his long hair pulled back and was like, oh, you look Native American. Let's make you Native American. That's where your Zeal crystal is going to be.
I don't get it. I feel like they just couldn't think of anything. Like, we're using all this cultural stuff with the Zeal crystals, but what do we have for Tommy?
Well, he could be, what could he be? Native American, yes! But one thing that always kind of struck me, though, do Native Americans practice pagan holidays?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because on A Season to Remember, he was pretty adamant about that damn Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Do Native Americans celebrate Christmas?
I mean, up until that point, he wasn't raised as that, so...
That's true.
I mean, that's true. But I mean, how coincidentally he just became Native American? Like, I don't know. Like, that just seemed kind of weird. Like,
sure.
I don't know. See, the thing is, was he really supposed to be Native American? Or was his Zeo crystal just drawn there because his brother was adopted by a Native American? I don't really know.
You know, they never actually explained that. Because I always took it as he was Native American, and he never knew.
I honestly don't know.
I actually never thought he was Native American. I only thought his brother was Native American, only because of the way they dressed him up. But that was it.
And I don't think the show is ever going to explain that part. So
No.
I'm fine with it. I don't really want them to touch on that story again.
It would, like, well, especially if they try to retouch on that story today, they would get, like, canceled.
Well, not exactly, because we still in recent years are still pretending to be other ethnicities. Your James Davies was playing a Spanish man, in not Dino Charge Jesus, in Beast Morphers. So I mean, we still playing other ethnicities. White people are playing, other things that they're not. And we're still doing this even in 2020. But it's okay. It's okay. There's no shade. But I don't know. Like, I think that also too, one of the reasons why they probably made him Native American was because, like, in the 90s, I don't know if y'all remember Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But that was like the thing. Like, Native Americans was like, yes. They would walk around doing their little chant and doing their little thing or whatever. Like, that was the thing for like half the 90s, like Native American culture. And I kind of feel like they probably wanted to introduce that into the show. I don't know. I think that's kind of where that happened, because, like, honestly, I mean, maybe he is. I don't know in real life, but I don't think JDF is Native American, is he?
No.
No, he's not. He's born in Texas, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I don't think he's Native American, but I mean, that's probably what it was. They were just capitalizing on just the idea of how popular Native Americans were in the 90s. So,
that's
I mean, I don't know.
I thought about. Wow.
Yeah, because that was a thing. But yeah. So moving right along, Turbo Tommy. The Tommy that didn't exist.
I was about to say, and who now? I was just about to say that.
like it's so funny to me, because that version of Tommy is just like, it's like the Tommy that we will not speak of. Like, we're not gonna talk about him. Like, we're not gonna touch that. No. Like, no. Like the lady on the promo for Candyman, where she was like, no. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't you call that name.
Oh my god, you need to make a meme out of that.
Red.
That'd be so good.
Like, I was not Turbo Red. But no, like, he just, I don't know, like, even on Turbo, I felt like, and I watched a couple episodes actually last night. When he was there, which was the few times that he was there, but when he was there, he actually didn't, he wasn't bad. Like, I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, he was definitely a confidant for Justin. Like, he and Justin hung out a lot. Whenever Justin would be at the little car shop with him, like, they'd hang out. It was cute. It was classy. But other than that, like, he really didn't have a purpose. I mean, he just kind of just came there. He showed up when he was needed. And yeah, so, what do you guys think?
I always mention this when I talk about Tommy and Turbo. I'll never forget, there was an episode where Zordon contacted him, and he's like, Tommy, I'm sorry to bother you. It's like, okay, aren't you the mentor? You're telling your ranger that you're sorry for bothering him? Okay, he's your leader.
He knows.
What was that?
I said he knows how busy Tommy is. He has respect.
Oh,
understand.
busy, racing, not even racing a car, but testing out a damn race car. Okay.
But why should he have to be sorry when they became rangers? The faith of the world should come first.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tommy. I'm sorry to ruin your very busy schedule while you're testing out these race cars, but we need your help. Do you think you can squeeze us in?
In hindsight, it kind of gets me thinking with the status that Tommy had later on in the series, maybe at that point, you know, him and Zordon became more of equals or something.
I mean, like,
You know what?
that just seems so off, though, because, like, why, like, he got to become an equal, but yet he dethroned Jason. I'm sorry. I'm not getting over this.
You know what? Actually, that makes it does kind of make sense. It kind of makes sense at that point because, and it's funny that you say that, Will. It's funny that you brought that up because I actually kind of agree. I kind of feel like, what if Zordon did actually get to a point where he's like, you know what, Tommy, you can do whatever you want. Because I now follow me on this. I mean, it's not that Tommy wasn't doing that anyway, but you know, follow me on this. Follow me on this journey. Now, he already have been, you know, basically like pumping Tommy head up full of stuff. Like, yeah, you can do it. You're the best, right? Right?
Yep.
Okay. At this point, Zordon has already put so much into Tommy that now it's like, I know Tommy at this point. I know he gonna make the right decision. I know I don't have to tell him nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to talk to this dude. Like, and then he was already gone because Zordon was gone within like 2 episodes. He was like, honey, I'm done. Bye. I'm going home. Like, baby, I got my chance to get out this tube. I'm taking it. Peace. Back. And he dipped. And so, like, basically he had Demetria. And Demetria just asking all them damn questions. Like, first of all, real quick, can we talk about how Tommy almost flipped out on Demetria?
Yeah.
That mess was funny.
That
mess was funny.
Tommy is shit right now. We need to figure this out.
Tommy was like, look, can you just tell me what the hell they is? And then Alpha talk about she's from the planet Aquarius. She asks questions. It's like, bruh,
then why?
nah.
That's the question that I'm asking.
I mean, what was that about? Like, what? Like, first of all, what you say?
It lasts long. Like, as soon as they were about to leave, she stopped doing with no.
I guess she said the new team was too dumb for me to be asking these questions like that.
Well, no, did she stop asking them like before the originals left?
No, I think she was still asking questions with them.
Yeah,
before they
yes.
left.
No. Because remember, she introduced the passing of the torch ceremony. She wasn't speaking in questions.
Exactly. She gave that whole monologue, and she never
did.
talked before. Never.
Just like
she asked one question.
We about to leave, and now you can talk. Okay.
Now, see, I'd have been pissed. I'd have been mad. I mean, like, this hoe was asking us all these doggone questions, and she can speak in regular sentences.
Or, you know what? Tommy was pissed that episode, and now we think he has some sort of power. Maybe he demanded a cure for her.
But wait, wasn't she Diva Talk's twin sister?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a basic.
So how come Diva Talks didn't like talking questions?
They were separated at birth.
Doesn't matter. She's from the same city.
Maybe Diva Talks was I guess they both would be from Inquirers, but they were separated. So whoever raised Diva Talks taught her to speak differently.
Well, like, Kate, this is what I'm getting. No, Alpha's telling us that she's from the planet of, what, Aquarius?
Yes, Aquarius.
And she asks us questions. So it sounds like to me, that is the only way that the species can speak is in questions.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that be built into Diva Talks as well, even though she's been taught to speak properly?
Well, it could be a situation where, you know, like how, for example, like, say, for example, like, when you were born, you only could speak in, well, Canadians, they speak English or French, right?
Right.
Okay. Say, for example, you were born speaking only French. And everybody around you spoke French, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a twin sister, and she got pulled away from you at, like, when she was first born. So you would learn how to speak French. They moved her over to the other side, to another part of Canada where they all do is just speak English. So even though she was born in that same place, still the people who kidnapped her, they speak English. So she was raised to speak English. But since Demetria was, like, still, like, with the Aquarians, I guess you would call them, she was brought up how to speak in question, which she can turn on and off, apparently.
Or whenever she wants to.
And Diva Talks just learned how to just speak regular sentences, like a normal person would.
I mean, that's a fair analogy. I guess, like, I'm just sort of blown away now that we're making all of this connection. I'm like, wait. But.
Yeah. Like, I never understood that either. Like, it was always something that really irritated me, because I'm like, I understand that she's from this place that they all speak in question, but at some point you can't make questions. Like, some things you're going to have to answer, unless you just answering questions with questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't make sense. I don't really think that they actually thought that out. Because at some point, she was going to have to speak sentences. Like, I mean, what was she going to do if they were going to ask her a direct sentence? Like, okay, so ask her a direct question. What was she going to do? Answer them back with a question?
I mean, I guess depends on what it is. She could, like, are you not excited for this new team? I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, that's a good point, though, because
it probably got like, for the writers, it probably got, like, too difficult, so they just nixed it.
They're like, newsflash, she can speak properly now.
Otherwise, would have had her talking like a lawyer, pretty much, just asking leading questions. Like, you guys want to use the turbine laser, correct? It's like, what?
Are you sure you want to call the Megazord?
Yeah. Are you sure you want to?
Are you sure?
Teleporting downtown might be a good idea, right?
Oh my God. No, for real. Like, I just, that Demetria, I just couldn't. I couldn't. I'm just glad that they went ahead and had her just, like, talk normal. Like, be a civilized person. And, yeah, just talk normal. But moving right along, because Tommy didn't really do nothing in Turbo.
Obviously, Demetria did way more.
Dr. Oliver. Now, Dr. Oliver, I'll give him that. Like, Dr. Oliver was actually my second favorite version of him. I actually like Dr. Oliver a lot. Like, I was like, okay, cool. This is cool. He's a mentor. He's telling them, he's basically letting the Red Ranger lead, which is something I thought Tommy would never do.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, what? You gonna lead? Nah. I'm here. So
do you know who I am?
Nothing.
Do you know what I've done to get here?
Okay, like
he's gonna start becoming the new Demetria.
Okay, but he didn't. Like, he actually like stayed in his lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a mentor. He was a mentor role, and he played it well. Like, I thought that he was very like he did a really good job at just being kind of like there for them in the capacity of like, hey, this is what you should do as a ranger. Like, you know, because I once was, well, I still am, but like, you know, I'm letting you guys figure it out for yourselves rather than I'm leading you in doing this. So I actually like that a lot. My only issue, the reason why he's not my favorite, my absolute favorite, is because when he got turned into that amber and was going for like 6 episodes, then came back and was stuck in his suit, and then came back and was invisible, and then almost died. I'm like, baby, listen, this is too much. Like, when are we going to have JDF back on the show? Like, what is happening? Like, dude, you are literally just, like, everything is happening to you. Like, what is going on? Like, by the end of it, if I was him, I would have been pissed at Trent. I'm like, you made me go through all this stuff. I was stuck in amber. I was stuck in my suit. I was invisible. Look, we gonna have to fight once we done. Like, when I get my body back, we gonna fight. Period. So I don't know. Like, what are y'all thoughts on Dino Thunder?
Well,
you know, Brendan, it's funny you mentioned that because, you know, I've heard that a lot about, you know, from other fans that don't like the fact that he was frozen in that amber and stuck in the suit and invisible. I feel like I'm literally the only fan that's never cared about that. Because everybody complains about it. I never cared. I was fine. I was like,
really?
I agree with Arron here. I honestly agree, and I was about to say the exact same thing. I like him for every single thing that you said on that list. He was a great character, and then he was frozen and stuck in all those things. I love that, because during the time he was gone, it gave other characters so much more work to do.
True.
So much more character building. And, like, I was really afraid that was going to be, like, the Tommy show again.
I'm glad that they didn't do that. For me, I just missed him. It didn't like annoy me. I just kind of missed seeing his face.
I was so fine
but he was
with it.
there. Technically, he was there.
I feel like for me, I just rolled with the punches. I was like, oh, the show is doing this. Okay. I just never complained. I just didn't even, I was like, oh, okay.
So, I don't know. Like, I mean, it didn't bother me, but at the same time, I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, 1 minute he's like, and when you would think, like, oh, he's going to be okay. He's going to come back. Then it's like, nope, he's invisible. Nope, he's stuck in the suit. It's
I'll
like,
give you that. I didn't really need him to be invisible, but
yeah, the invisible part, it was just like, all right, now, come on, like, what are we doing?
I guess that was a bit of a reach, because you already had 2 other steps in his, you know, to mask JDF not being there. Did you really have to do that part too?
It's like, what? Like, why does he have to be invisible? And then when they brought him back, his behind was about to die. I'm like, oh, God.
I love that episode.
That was a good episode. I will say that. It was a very good episode. But I'm like, good grief. The man about to die? I'm about to kill the man? Like, Tommy went through so much in Dino Thunder, and I don't think people really understand that. He went through so much.
Well, it made up for the fact that he did nothing in Zeo and nothing in Turbo.
I guess when you put it like that, it's just like,
And being without him for what? So it was like 7 years, so they had to give him something to work with.
True. I mean, I don't know. Like, I actually like the one thing I did, like, when I make all these things about Dino Thunder, it's not that I didn't like them. It was just more so like, it just felt like it was never ending. It was like, okay, good grief, like what's going to happen next to this dude? Like, he just can't catch a break. But I actually I didn't hate it. Like I said, like, for me, it would have been number 2. I just would have like to me, he would have been number 1. I just would have liked if they would have just stopped at him being in the suit. He didn't have to become invisible. Like, just keep him in the suit and, have him do whatever he need to do, whatever. And then that was it.
I'm surprised that they didn't, like, maybe film a little bit of extra footage so that they could have used that and maybe to pad out his absence, and then like they could have filmed something, and then like basically what you said, maybe they could have had him outside of the suit, he couldn't morph, and then like at least we could have still seen him.
Right. And even then it was like he disappeared. When he became invisible, when he was stuck in the suit and when he became invisible and everything, I was always wondering, what happened at school? What happened with his job? Like, what did he tell the principal?
Wow.
Like, I don't think they ever addressed that.
I feel like they mentioned it. I feel like in passing they mentioned it between him and Randall.
Yeah, it was in passing. I think Randall talked to Kira about it.
Yeah.
I think it was like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like,
okay, because I'm like, I never really remembered him actually, like, saying anything, like, or formally saying anything, like, hey, yeah, I'm sick. Or something, like, I don't know, like, just, like, what would have been his excuse, like,
coronavirus.
Why he can't come to work.
That's what he got, the coronavirus, way back when we knew what it
was. Well, I feel like that season I feel like they would put something in there to explain that. Like if it was like MMPR or something, they probably would have just kept going like he was never gone or something like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't have even brought it up. You'd have been like, oh, okay, well, Tommy was here, and now he's not. Moving on. That was that. But no, like, that was just always my question, was just like, what happened? What happened to him? But yeah, like, I don't know, like, Dino Thunder Tommy for me was the next best thing other than Green. Like, the rest of them just didn't really do it for me. That's why I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
If you were to rank, the Tommies from, the best to the not so best versions, which ones would you rank?
Arron, you can go first.
Oh, sure, the Tommy fan. Okay.
I mean, since you are the Tommy fan and everything.
Yes, I am, because he is the greatest and the best of all the Rangers. So,
excuse me?
Yes. The God King Tommy, yes. So, if I'm going to rank them, I am going to, for today anyway, I'm going to put the White Ranger at number 1, because that is my childhood, and Saba's awesome, and so I'm just gonna put number 1, White Ranger Tommy. Number 2 would be Black Ranger Tommy, Dr. Oliver, because I really did like him in the mentor role. I think he was one of the best mentors that the show has had. So I love it. So yeah, number 3, probably the Green Ranger. I don't really have any reasons there, just that he was pretty cool in that role. Number 4, Zio. And dead last, Turbo, because he ain't doing it. So, there you go.
Now, I will say Saba. I didn't even touch on that with the White Ranger, but Saba was shady. And I lived for it. Saba was real messy, and I loved it. I was like, ooh, Saba could be on, like, a good episode of, like, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, just reading girls. And I love me some Saba.
I wish he spoke more. I wish that they gave him, like, more lines. That would have been cool.
Like, I love that episode when he was using the Tiger Sword for the first time.
Yeah.
And he got thrown out. And he was like, I thought you knew what you were doing. And he was like, I do. I was like, oh. Come on, Saba, you better let him know. I do. It's like, oh, Saba is ratchet. Okay. Go forth and be great. Who's next?
Go forth and be great.
Who want to go next?
I'll go next. So number 1 would be Green Ranger. Between the Dragon Zord and the Dragon Dagger and his suit, him being with the original 5, like that all was just like so beautiful to me. Next would be this is when it gets hard because it's like, do I go by like what was my favorite or what was actually better? It's so hard. I guess I'll go with Zio Red, where I feel like he really actually was a good leader. Then I'll go with White because there's still something, even though I didn't love the way that it was the Tommy show at that point, there's still something special about the White Ranger, about the powers and all that, and the memories. Then I'll go with Dino Thunder. That was quite possibly, like, for an entire season, Tommy's best, like, portrayal, just from beginning to end. And then, of course, the last would be Turbo, because he just was not around. He had clocked out by that point, so.
True. Lena?
Dr. Oliver, Green Tommy, White Tommy, then it was Red, Zio, and then Turbo. That would be my order.
Okay. And I guess for me, I would go Green Ranger. Because, like I said, I just connected with him just so much. I just felt like he was so much more of a character. Like, I just felt like he did so much more character-wise. And he had, like, honestly, Tommy had an overall arc as the Green Ranger. Mm-hmm. Like, you saw him grow. And that was always something that I thought was just, like, I felt like that was excellent writing for its time. When they brought in Tommy, the Green Ranger, I thought that they executed him the best out of all 6 Rangers. He was the only one that actually had a beginning, a middle, and an end as far as character development. The other 5, literally, you knew, like, hardly, they didn't really develop them, like, at all, especially Jason Zacatrini, but we are not going to touch that. They did not develop them at all in Mighty Morphin like that. So I just kind of feel like he had the best character development. And then when it came down to my second choice, I would probably say, and not to mention, I want to come back to this. Green Ranger also had that that little like sword. When he would play the little flute, his little shield became like an extra shield.
Yeah.
And it started bouncing stuff off. I said, okay. But that was, I just really liked that. That was really cool. My next choice would be Dino Thunder, Dr. Tommy Oliver, for all the reasons you guys said. But also, that was the only time that you actually saw a Ranger that I can remember, that you saw a Ranger with facial hair, other than like Merrick.
Right.
Like, other than Merrick, like, well, the Ranger we saw had facial hair. Like, I'm like, oh, they making Tommy actually look his age. Cool. All right, this is cool. This is dope. I'm here for it.
And then, like, you said that real quick. You said that, but we see him in the 25th anniversary episode and the 20th anniversary episode, and he can't have his facial hair. Okay.
Listen.
That makes sense.
Listen. I don't understand that. I don't. You know, and see, now you done open a can of worms, Will. Why you had to open this can of worms? See. Here's my problem with this show. Why can't they? I understand this is a show for kids. I get it. But is having facial hair offensive? Like, I'm really trying to understand. Like, he's not a teenager. He's not a young adult. Like, he's very well into, like, his you know, he's at the age of a midlife crisis, basically. He's at that age. This man has facial hair. Like, it's okay to let him have facial hair. It's okay. Like, I don't understand why they cannot allow him to wear the soul patch. The soul patch was cool. Like, I don't understand it. Like, are they afraid that people are going to be like, oh my God, an old Power Ranger? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the issue. But that's neither here or there. Plus, they got Jason looking. We ain't gonna go there. Okay, third person. Third Ranger. I would probably say Zeo Ranger 5. Despite all the episodes in like the middle of the season being about Tommy, I have to agree. Like, Tommy really was a decent individual at that point. Like, he was decent. I wouldn't say he was like a great leader, but he was decent. I thought he was like, okay, he's cool. Like, they tried to make him a lot more super and glamorous than he was, which kind of annoyed me. But at the same time, like, I didn't hate it. You know, like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Like, the only thing I didn't like was that the Zeo crystals had the same energy. Like, everybody had the same amount of energy. Why they still had him like he was the White Ranger, which was stronger powers than everybody else. I still always kind of felt like they were trying to make him a little above everybody else, but without all the extra hoopla, because Zeo Ranger 5 didn't have any hoopla to make extra. But I still feel like they kind of kept it a little under control. So I'm like, okay, that's somewhat, I can live with that. My next one will be White Ranger. We already know why I'm putting White Ranger almost last, because I can't take the White Ranger. I just can't. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. MMP are white. I can't do it. He just, even though Saba couldn't even save him out this spot. Like, and I love Saba. I think Saba is like the best weapon ever created. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Agreed.
Best weapon ever created. Because not only was Saba cool, but Saba was shady. Could throw a mean jab in a heartbeat. Like, I will read you, honey. So I loved me some Saba. But I just, the White Ranger himself, I was just not a fan. I just wasn't. And then I'm gonna be real picky. I'm gonna be petty too. That shield, I hate it. I hate that little black and gold Shangaling that he had on. I'm just like, what is this? Why does it look like a halter top? I can't do it. I can't. It went from a halter top to a tube shirt, in the movie. I just couldn't. I couldn't. So for me, White Ranger just no. White Ranger was a no for me. And lastly, Turbo, because like he just wasn't there. Granted, like I will say though, he had some of the best, one of the best fights in Turbo for me, period, was when he fought the Shadow Rangers by himself.
That was dope, man.
Yes. Awesome.
That was one of the best fights in Turbo for me, period. Out of every Ranger, Tommy had the best fight with the Shadow Rangers. I was like, first of all, even though the yellow Shadow Ranger was giving him work, I was like...
Yes, it was.
I was like, okay. And it was the Shadow Ranger that belongs to the black girl. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Because we all know secretly Tanya was like the beast of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sure. We all know, But see, people be trying to, they be trying to put her, on the bottom because, she was new and all of that stuff. But quiet as it's kept, we know Tanya was like one of the strongest Rangers on that team. We know that. So I'm glad they let the Shadow Rangers, let the world know that Tanya was one of the stronger ones on the team. But yes. So, needless to say, that's my list. And I hope that you all, when you listen to this episode, that you will let us know what you think. Like, do you think, give us your list. Like, do you think that which Tommy was better? Do you think that it was Green Ranger, White Ranger, Z Ranger 5, Turbo? I doubt anyone would say Turbo. But, or Dino Thunder Black. Like, which one was your favorite? Like, let us know, let us know in the comments or whatever, And yeah, thank you for listening. And also, Arron, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Absolutely. And we would love to have you back on, so you could give us your opinions and, be a part of the conversation.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm ready, anytime we can do it. I really had to control myself. I didn't want to act like a crazy Tommy stan in this.
Listen.
Could have.
I would love for you to act up. Like, let the people know how you feel.
Yep.
Is there some things you holding on to?
Yes, let us know. Let us know. Let's hear it.
Let us know.
What is it? Let's hear.
Listen. Because I'm not trying to convince anybody to like Tommy. I don't really care if people like him or not. But, like, for me he's just the best. And I'm not bothered that he got, like, 20 million episodes to show that. And, because, like, he saved the day more than any other Ranger. Just period. And the show itself has just come out and said multiple times that he's the best. And I'm not going to argue with the show,
Oh, you're not going to argue with the show on this. That's what you mean. You're not going to argue with the show on this particular subject.
Sure. When one of the smartest people in the show, Miss Haley, says that he's the best, I can't I can't question her. She's a rocket scientist.
Oh,
I can't. There's no. I can't. You know.
Okay, I need y'all's opinion real quick, okay? What did you think of their relationship? Like, did you think they were secretly together, or did you think they had a relationship and it just didn't work, or like, do you think it was like strictly platonic? Like, I'm being serious here. Like, I always wondered these things. And obviously they gave like no vibe whatsoever as to which direction it was going, because it was like she really loved him and she really cared for. And I know you can love somebody platonically. I'm not saying that you have to have a relationship with them, but like, you know, in that sense, right? But like, I'm serious. Like, what's your opinion on this? I'm being so serious right now.
You know, that's a good question, actually. In my little headcanon, I like to say that they did date in college, but then they realized they were better off as friends. So that's just me.
I'm thinking, for me, I just kind of went along with what the show told me, and I thought that they were just like, it was a platonic thing. Because I don't remember ever seeing anything that made me think that there was anything there. Like for Adam and Tanya, there were moments where you could say that they might have been dating, but like for those two, it was always just like, it seemed like a respect thing, and she looked up to him. So I always thought that. Plus, I guess we're led to believe that he was with Kat that whole time, but then again, maybe not, because we never saw Kat in
they could have taken a break, okay?
Yeah, it's possible.
You know, just say. But like, I think for me, I'm with Arron here too, where I feel like because realistically, I'm just gonna go out of my way and say this: Haley does not seem like Tommy's type, like at all. And I feel like they probably, how they even noticed each other, so she probably did something to save his ass, and he was like, he pulled the what do we call it, the hungry eyes that he pulled on Catherine. He was like, hello, who are you and how can I get you in bed?
But you know what though, also too, I feel like to be honest, I kind of feel like he actually pulled one of these numbers. So you know how like the smart person, right?
Yeah.
You always have that real smart person that you like, dang, that person real cool, right?
Yeah.
And they real smart. I'm not that smart though. So she could probably help me with my homework.
Oh.
And she probably was like, yeah, you is kind of dumb. Let me go ahead and help you out. And
wow.
They ended up becoming friends because she was helping him, you know, like study and everything. Since she said they met in school, you know, it was like, oh yeah, like he was kind of dumb. And then like he told me that he was a Power Ranger and everything. And I'm like, yeah. You were okay, cool. So what you want? And it was like, yeah, I'm doing this whole, you know, trying to get these dino crystals and stuff. Found them on this dig, and I need help, girl. And he was like, oh, okay, word. Well, I got you. And that's how they, you know, they went ahead and got together. But I always felt like they were platonic. To be honest, I always felt like they were platonic. I never really felt like they had a relationship. But I did sense that she was very, like, she cared a lot about him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if anything, what it probably was she was the smart girl, and she kind of probably had a crush on him, but he was like, I'm a jock, and yeah, I don't really like you like that because, yeah, you're not my type, but you can be my friend, though, and you can do my homework. And that was their relationship.
I mean, you know, with Tommy, anyone could be his type at this point.
Ooh, dang, like, like, ow. Like,
just saying.
Anyone can be inside.
Anyone, like, you seen how fast he jumped on Catherine?
Jeez,
like he was A, with Kim still, then B, newly broken up with Kim, and he was like, hello, Kat. How you doing?
Child, like, I don't know.
You know that's true.
I mean, listen. I mean, Kat. Now, let's let the quiet as is kept. Let's be honest. Kat was a dime.
Like, she was. She is.
You gotta.
She is.
You know, okay, like Kat was, you know, she was nice. You know, I mean, Rocky didn't say nice leaves for nothing. And your branches ain't too bad.
Know what he was referring to.
Child, I mean, leaves are things that hang off of branches.
Okay.
You know, I think he was talking about the exteriors, the exterior parts of her body, the stuff that pokes out.
Mm-hmm.
I got you now.
You know. Then he said, you have nice branches too. I was like, oh. Like, sir, out of pocket. Like, oh my God, Rocky, what are you doing? But I'm like, but for real though, like Kat, especially in Turbo, Kat was like, okay, I see you, Catherine, with your Daisy Dukes on and the makeup and the hair done nice.
When I went to see the movie, I thought that they had got another actress to play Kat.
Wow.
I was like, it looked so different. I was like, wait, that's Kat. And then like that look went into the show too. I guess they just changed up her makeup.
Or they just fired the old makeup artist.
Or they did it better. Yeah.
I was like, or just did it better. Because it was just like, because I mean, the same happened for Tanya.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like her makeup got way better on the show and in the movie rather than it was in Zio. Like her makeup was way better. Now I will say this though. I don't know whether y'all seen like the behind the scenes picture of like Tanya in the dress or Nakia in the dressing room and she had on like the snakeskin outfit or whatever. I think Nakia posted it on her page.
Yeah.
She looks like she does now in that picture. But on the show, which when she had on the makeup, she looked different. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, when these makeup artists was painting her face, like, what were they doing?
We hear these stories all the time. You know, if you have a predominantly white like team as far as production, makeup, all that stuff, they might not know how to do black makeup and hair. And we've heard the stories about the hair.
Oh yeah, like the hair stuff, yeah. But I'm just like, dang, like, why did they make her look like that? And another person they made look crazy was Katie. Katie looked like she was casket ready every episode. I'm like, sis.
Wow.
Yeah, now Katie didn't look great. Did she not look great? I was like, why does she look great?
Wow.
Katie is a whole brown-skinned woman, and this woman looked great.
Oh man!
What? So yeah, I was not a fan of the makeup, but I just always kind of felt like the black ladies, with the exception of Aisha during like the early years, they did our sisters wrong, child. Oh my God, they did them so wrong. It's like, why y'all making them look like that? I mean, Tanya, first episode, she turned around and she looked like Michael Jackson.
I'm sick of you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When she did that slow turn, you can't tell me Tanya ain't look like Michael Jackson. Tell me it's a lie. Tell me it's a lie.
Oh.
She did that slow turn and she looked just like Michael Jackson. I said, I know you lying. Then Katie years later looking casket ready. I'm just like, I can't. This is too much. Like, y'all makeup artists need to do better with these black girls. Like, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. But they did, though, because Camille looked good in Dino Charge. She looked real cute. Her makeup was good. Mm-hmm. And Haley, she looked good, too. Haley's makeup was really good, too. So I was like, good job, y'all. Even though these are lighter-skinned girls. But, you know, good job. We're not going to go there. But good job, guys. But yes, that concludes today's episode. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And Arron.
I'm Arron. I'm ASdeclassified.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.